The player controls Ethan Winters from a first-person perspective as he searches a derelict estate for his missing wife. 1-2. Although Ethan is a civilian with few combat skills, 3. He is able to arm himself with a variety of weapons including handguns, shotguns, flamethrowers, explosives and chainsaws. 4. Against the estate's residents, the Baker family, as well as humanoid fungal creatures known as the molded and mutated insects. He can block attacks to reduce damage. Various sections of the game are spent being pursued by members of the Baker family, who, if engaged in combat, can only be temporarily incapacitated. However, these encounters are avoidable by means of stealth, or running away. 5-6. Unlike Resident Evil 6, the gameplay emphasizes horror and exploration over action. 3-7. The inventory uses a grid-based system with an initial capacity of 12 slots, but may be expanded several times over the course of the game. An item can occupy up to 2 spaces, and 4 items may be assigned to the D-pad. Item boxes found in save rooms may be used to manage and store items, and can be retrieved from different item boxes for later use. 5-8. Items in the inventory can be used, examined, or combined with other items to increase their usefulness. 9. Many of the game's puzzles require that items be examined under certain conditions in order to reveal secrets. 10. Tape recorders can be used to manually save the game's progress, which, depending on the given difficulty level, may require the use of a cassette tape. 5-11. Videotapes are scattered for Ethan to find, which place the player in the perspective of a different character, often revealing plot information or clues needed to solve a puzzle. 5-12. The PlayStation 4 version is playable in virtual reality using the PlayStation VR headset. 13. Items can be unlocked by completing various in-game objectives, that is beating the game in a certain time or on a specific difficulty. These items will then show up in the item box on subsequent playthroughs. These items include glasses that point out the location of items, a powerful handgun, a circular saw, shoes that increase walking speed, and scrolls that decrease damage taken while guarding, among others. Plot. This article's plot summary may be too long or excessively detailed. Please help improve it by removing unnecessary details and making it more concise. February 2022. Learn how and when to remove this template message. In July 2017, Ethan Winters is drawn to a derelict plantation in Dove, Louisiana, by a message from his wife, Mia, who has been presumed dead since going missing in 2014. He finds Mia imprisoned in the basement of a derelict house, and frees her. She tries to lead them out, but suddenly becomes violent and attacks him, forcing him to kill her. After receiving a call from a woman named Zoe offering assistance, Ethan is attacked by a revived Mia, who cuts his left hand off with a chainsaw. Ethan seemingly kills Mia again in self-defense, before Jack, the patriarch of the Baker family, appears and captures Ethan. After Zoe reattaches his hand, Ethan is held captive by Jack, his wife Marguerite, and their son Lucas, along with a seemingly catatonic elderly woman in a wheelchair. Ethan escapes, but is pursued around the house by Jack, who continually attacks him and displays powerful regenerative abilities. In the basement, Ethan discovers sludge-covered, mutated creatures known as molded. Zoe reveals that she is Jack's daughter, and that the family and Mia are infected, but can be cured with a special serum. Ethan makes his way to an old house to retrieve the serum ingredients, kills Marguerite, and has visions of a young girl. Lucas captures Zoe and Mia and forces Ethan to navigate a booby-trapped barn to find them. He chases away Lucas and frees Zoe and Mia. Zoe develops 2 serum doses, but they are attacked by Jack, now heavily mutated. Ethan kills him using one of the serums. 5. Ethan, as the player, must choose to cure either Mia or Zoe. If Ethan chooses Zoe, Mia is heartbroken, despite Ethan's promise to send help. As he and Zoe flee on the boat, Zoe reveals that the Bakers were infected after Mia arrived with a young girl named Evelyn when the wreck of a tanker ship washed ashore. Evelyn stops their escape by calcifying Zoe, killing her, and Ethan is knocked from the boat by a creature. If Ethan chooses Mia, which is the canonical path. Zoe gives a bitter farewell to him and Mia. As he and Mia flee on the boat, they come across the crashed tanker, where they are attacked by the creature and knocked from the boat. In neither case, Mia awakens next to the wrecked ship and searches for Ethan while experiencing visions of Evelyn, who refers to Mia as her mother. Eventually, Mia's memory is restored, revealing that she was a covert operative for a corporation that developed Evelyn as a bioweapon, codenamed D001. Mia and Agent Alan Droney were to escort Evelyn as she was transported aboard the tanker. Evelyn escaped containment, killed Alan, and sank the ship. She infected Mia in an effort to force her to be her mother. Mia finds Ethan and gives him a vial of Evelyn's genetic material. 5. If Ethan cured Mia, she resists Evelyn's control long enough to seal Ethan out of the ship. If he cured Zoe, Mia succumbs to Evelyn's control and attacks Ethan, forcing him to kill her. Ethan discovers a hidden laboratory inside an abandoned salt mine. He learns that Evelyn is a bioorganic weapon capable of infecting people with a psychotropic mold that gives her control over her victims' minds, resulting in insanity, mutation, and superhuman regenerative abilities. Evelyn grew up obsessed with having a family, driving her to infect Mia and the Bakers and lure Ethan. Lucas was immunized against Evelyn's control by her creators, the Connections, in exchange for providing observations on her. Using the lab equipment and Evelyn's genetic material, Ethan synthesizes a toxin to kill her, and proceeds through tunnels that lead back to the Baker house. He overcomes Evelyn's hallucinations, and injects Evelyn with the toxin. She reverts to her other form, the elderly woman in the wheelchair. Evelyn has been rapidly aging since escaping. Evelyn mutates into a large monster and, aided by the arrival of a military squad led by Chris Redfield, Ethan kills her with an anti-bioweapon pistol. Chris extracts Ethan and Mia in a helicopter branded with the Umbrella Corporation logo. 5. Banned Footage Volume 1. In Nightmare, Jack throws cameraman Clancy Jarvis down into the basement of the mansion. Clancy creates makeshift weapons in order to dispatch molded within the basement. It ends with Clancy seemingly killing Jack at precisely 5 a.m. In bedroom, Clancy awakens and finds himself handcuffed to an unknown bed. Marguerite Baker enters and attempts to feed him, before leaving. Clancy attempts to use his surroundings to break out of his restraints, during which Marguerite periodically visits him. Eventually, Clancy uncovers a secret passage underneath the bed, alerting Marguerite. Clancy stabs her with a knife before escaping. Banned Footage Volume 2. In 21, Clancy is knocked unconscious by Lucas. When Clancy awakens, he finds himself confined to a chair, his hand placed within a finger guillotine. A man sits across from him wearing a sack whom Lucas refers to as Hoffman. Broadcasting himself, Lucas announces that the men will have to play blackjack to win their freedom. The loser of each round will lose a finger, and the first to lose all 5 fingers will be killed. After Clancy wins the first round, Hoffman demands another game. Lucas straps the two to a device that administers electrical shocks, increasing in power for each round lost, with the final level fatal. Clancy wins and Hoffman is seemingly killed. Lucas uses wires to manipulate Hoffman's body like a puppet, before he places a large hole between the men, moving closer to the loser. Clancy wins again and Hoffman is revealed to have just passed out from pain. He awakens just as he is killed. Lucas congratulates Clancy, and moves him to play another game. In Daughters, which takes place on October 10, 2014, a tropical cyclone causes a ship, the SS Annabelle, to go missing off the coast of Louisiana. Jack carries in an unconscious girl, Evelyn, found nearby. Jack places her in Lucas' room and orders Zoe to get her fresh clothes. Zoe retrieves the clothes when a lightning strike knocks out the house's power, and Evelyn disappears. Zoe searches for her and discovers Marguerite rambling in the bathroom, before she suddenly turns violent. Jack restrains her and orders Zoe to get some rope. Returning with the rope, Zoe discovers Jack attempting to drown Marguerite, and then deliberately stabs himself before Zoe. Zoe flees, witnessing Jack dragging Lucas towards the bathroom. Downstairs, Zoe encounters an apologetic Marguerite, who claims that she had heard voices in her head. Marguerite hands Zoe the car keys and tells her to leave. If the player completed optional objectives earlier in the game, they have the option of escaping to the camper van trailer. If the player tries to escape using the car, they will be confronted by Marguerite and Jack, the latter of whom kills Zoe. If the player attempts to hide in the trailer, the canonical ending, they will discover a letter written by Mia that thanks the Bakers for their kindness and warns them about Evelyn. Zoe then wakes up at the dinner table with everything seemingly back to normal, but soon starts seeing visions of Evelyn. Not a hero. BZA agent Chris Redfield teams up with the now reformed Umbrella Corporation, also known as Blue Umbrella, in order to apprehend Lucas Baker and uncover evidence on the mysterious group that created Evelyn, called the Connections. After rescuing Ethan Winters and sending him away on a helicopter, Chris proceeds into Lucas' lab in the salt mine, where he accidentally runs into one of Lucas' traps and has a bomb attached to his left wrist. Undeterred, Chris continues his pursuit. He tries to rescue several captured Umbrella soldiers, but they are killed by Lucas' traps. Eventually, Lucas activates a timer on Chris' bomb. Chris is forced to freeze the bomb in liquid nitrogen, disabling it long enough for him to remove it. With the bomb removed, Chris battles his way through more of Lucas' motive and traps. He then finds his way into a secret Connections research lab, where Lucas had killed all of the Connections researchers and plans to betray the organization. Chris manages to corner and shoot Lucas, which triggers a mutation in his body. Chris battles and eventually kills the mutated Lucas, and stops him from transferring all of his data on Evelyn to an unknown party. With his mission done and Evelyn's infection contained, Chris returns to the Umbrella base camp for an urgent call. End of Zoe. Following the path in the main game in which Ethan cures Mia instead of Zoe, Zoe wanders into the swamp and is apparently killed by Evelyn. However, a pair of Umbrella soldiers find her body and discover she is still alive. They are ambushed by Joe Baker, Zoe's uncle, who lives in the dull swamps and has not been affected by Evelyn's mold. Joe initially believes Umbrella is responsible for Zoe's condition, but a surviving Umbrella soldier claims they have a cure for Zoe stored in a nearby shack. Joe goes to the shack, finding a partial cure, and returns to find the Umbrella soldier killed by a molded. Joe initially flees with Zoe on a boat to find the Umbrella base but is soon forced to search for the base on foot. A powerful and seemingly immortal molded called the Swamp Man pursues them along the way. Joe and Zoe find the Umbrella base abandoned. They learn that the cure has been moved to a nearby paddle boat. Joe boards the boat and, after encountering the Swamp Man once again, uncovers a full dose of the cure. The Swamp Man captures